The story begins with Shin, a high school girl who never steps out of her house. In the first scene, when she looks out of the window, she sees red lines on people's heads. Afraid of them, she suddenly closes the window. It turns out that she had been seeing red lines since childhood. She was confused about it at first, but then she made the same lines in her family picture. A similar line was connecting her dad and her aunt. Seeing this, her mom went crazy and stabbed Shin's dad to death. That day, Shin realized that these lines are very dangerous. She wanted to get out of the curse of seeing these lines. But whenever she stepped out, she saw the same lines on everyone's head. Someone has less, then the next has tons of them. As time passed, she realized that these lines show the physical relationship of a person. The more the relationship, the more lines on their head. That's why she named these lines as S-lines. She was tired of these lines, so she tried to end her life many times. But whenever she did this, she would come back to life like a miracle every time. Finally, to avoid seeing these lines, she started wearing black glasses. She stopped going out of the house. She was on a mission to find out why she was chosen to see these lines. And what kind of curse is this that doesn't even let her die? Now one day, Shin looks out of the window. A new girl came to live in the building in front of her. As soon as she sees Shin, she waves her hand towards Shin. But Shin sees a lot of red lines on her head and closes the window. That girl feels a little weird. After a while, the girl comes to Shin's house. But Shin doesn't open the door, so she puts some fruits outside her house. After a while, Shin picked it up and ate it as if she had been hungry for a long time. Now, after the scene cut, we are shown a new character, Seon, in the school. Her classmate, Hee-won, was bullying her with other people. She hangs Seon from the roof and says, "If you don't bring us money tomorrow, I'll throw you off the roof." Seon's had no family, so she was afraid. She lived with her uncle Han Ji-Wook, who is a detective. That's why he never gave Seon much time. And even at this time, he is investigating a murder case. The murder case report is also shown on TV. The killer of this case was being told as a helmet man. Shin was surprised that the helmet man, shown on TV, he had only one S-line on his head, and it was very rare to see. Shockingly, the next day, the helmet man comes to her neighbor's house in the building in front of her, and Shin immediately calls the police thinking him to be the killer. But when she realizes that he is a friend of her neighbor, she cuts the call. In the morning, Han gets call about Shin. He realizes that a girl had called and she was talking about the helmet man. When Han gets the address of Shin, he realized that Shin lives in front of his building. When Han goes to her house and knocks on the door, Shin gets so scared by seeing a lot of S-lines on his head that she hides inside the house. Han keeps knocking on the door for a long time. So Shin's neighbors tell him, there is no use. She never opens the door. Han knocks again and tells her that if you know anything about the helmet man, and if you can tell anything, it will be a huge help. Shin opens the door, just a little, and tells him that it was just a misunderstanding. I saw a man in a helmet going to a girl's house in the building in front of hers. I thought that the girl would be in danger, so I called the police. But later I found out that the boy was a friend. Han asks Shin about her parents. So Shin gets scared again and closes the door. When Shin looks out again at night, she finds out that the same helmet man lives in her own building. Shin also finds out about him being a delivery man and came to that building a few years ago. The murder was also done by a delivery man wearing a helmet, so the police were also checking all the delivery men. Now Han gives the task to his assistant to investigate the delivery man living in Shin's building. Without permission, Han's assistant enters his flat and starts the investigation. This whole apartment was very strange. There were many things indicating that the delivery man could be a murderer. He was scared because he was in the killer's house, so he calls Han immediately. It turns out that the delivery man was hiding and listening to his bickering. Killer attacks him and ties him up, because of which he couldn't get in touch with Han. When there is no contact, Han gets worried and goes towards the house. Here we see that. The man is wearing helmet again. He gets ready and goes for his new hunt. Shin hears the sound of his footsteps. When she goes to the window and sees, the same helmet boy is going back to the building in front. She understood that her neighbor's life is in danger. She wanted to call the police to save her, but now her phone's battery was dead. She never went out. But today, because she felt that she had to save someone's life, she went out with a knife in hand. She goes to that building and enters the girl's apartment, where the boy was really trying to strangle her neighbor to death. It turns out that this man has glasses that can see S lines like Shin. Because of these glasses, he knew that this girl was cheating on him. Shin wants to help her, but in fear, she couldn't do anything. Instead, the boy attacked Shin with her own knife. After injuring Shin, he again went to kill that girl. On the other side, we see that Han comes to Shin's building to cover his assistant, but he gets confused after seeing the whole door of Shin's house open and goes inside Shin's house. Inside, he sees a board from which he learns that Shin is also investigating something, while thinking he saw in the window that a boy is murdering the girl living in front, and Shin is trying to save her. Despite being injured, Shin showed courage and stabbed that man in the leg with the knife. Now the man gets angry and he tries to kill Shin instead of the girl. But Han shoots him from Shin's house and saves Shin and that girl's life. After a while, the entire police get to the location, and they take the killer and that girl to hospital. Han comes out with Shin and holds her black glasses. Seeing these glasses, she remembers that the killer had told her that she was seeing red lines because of these glasses. She does not tell this to Han. Han tells her that she should go to the hospital, to which Shin says, "No, I am absolutely fine." In the meantime, Han's niece Seon also comes here. She asks her, "What are you doing here?" And Han asks Seon, "Do you know her?" Seon says, "Yes, she used to study in my school. Then her parents were murdered, after which she did not come to school." After that, Han asks her, "What is going on in your school? And how are these bruises on your face? And why are you asking me for so much money?" Seon asks him, "Why are you so worried about me today? If you don't want to give me money, then just say it." Han leaves the room. Now we get to see Shin again, who was sitting on top of her apartment. And now she had decided that she would not stay locked in the room. And just as she saved a girl's life yesterday, she will save people's lives by using her power. She was thinking about all this, that she got a message from an unknown number, who told her that just like her, he can also see S lines. And if you want to meet me, then come to your school in the morning. Okay, so that's it for today. That was my time. So, what do you think about episode 1? And tell me in the comments, what would you do if you had the S-line power for yourself? Also, let's aim for 100 likes on this video. Once we hit that, I'll drop the explanation for episode 2. Until then, you can check out my other breakdowns like the full Friday the 13th series and tons of other horror and slasher movies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.